Hi, it's Mark here again. Welcome to video 3. Video 3 is about a subject that sports people know an awful lot about, but is really just beginning to make an impact in business and in other organisations. It's about positive psychology, how we can actually use our psychology to help us succeed in life. Now, there's only so much we can do in a very short video, but I'm going to talk to you about identity, our identity, where it comes from, and how we can use it to actually help us succeed in life. So without further ado, let's get on with video 3. What is our identity? Our identity is the collation of all the thoughts and feelings we have about ourselves. It can also be called our self-concept. It changes with time and we can consciously change it, Other people can make a contribution to our identity, especially when we're younger. Our parents, peers, and those we saw as being in authority all play a role. But the biggest role in defining our identity is played by us, it's played by ourselves. Why is identity important? Identity is important because there's a link between our identity and our behaviours. A link between our identity and what we actually do. Our identity drives our behaviours and our behaviours define our identity. Our identity has a massive impact on our achievements and our happiness. It can help us, or I'm afraid it can sometimes hinder us. When considering our identity, it's important to have a healthy appreciation of our own strengths because our successes come from our strengths. Our education can sometimes focus on our weaknesses. Our strengths can be taken for granted. This can then sometimes continue into the workplace where performance appraisals and all that good stuff, sometimes they don't focus on how to better utilise the strengths of the person in question. But really successful people seldom dwell on their unimportant weaknesses. They focus on their strengths. They become very aware of their strengths. They keep their strengths front of mind and they're constantly alive to the opportunity to hone their strengths yet further. They have their strengths as a central part of their identity and this drives their behaviour. They use their strengths as much as possible and they take every opportunity to improve them. So what can you do now? Well, we're going to establish what your strengths are and we're going to turn them into powerful motivational statements for you. First, pause the video, download the PDF workbook, there's a link to it below this video, print it out and then start the video up again. Do that now, please. Okay, welcome back. I'm going to take you through the identity workbook. Stop the video when you need to, work at your own pace, use a pen, not your computer. It's much more personal when you write these things by hand. So let's start. Firstly, let's complete 3 statements about how others saw us or maybe how others still see us. Number 1, my parents or the people who looked after me said I have the following strengths. Write down as much as you can, particularly those strengths that are still relevant to your success today. Number 2, my peers said I have the following strengths. Number 3, my authority figures said I have the following strengths. By authority figures, I mean those who, particularly when you're younger, represented authority, teachers, bosses, and so forth. Now let's complete 2 more statements, this time about how we see ourselves. Number 4, I've always thought of myself as a person who is. And number 5, I've always thought of myself as a person who can. Spend some time on these. You now should have a list of your strengths. Review your list and ask yourself this question. The strengths which I will focus on today and from now on that will greatly improve my future are. Now from the list of strengths above, circle the ones that apply in the completion of this sentence. Choose 3, 4, maybe 5 of your strengths. Finally, for each of these strengths, create statements in the form I am. For example, if your success has been due in part to your great presentation skills and this strength will make a positive difference to your future, write down, I am a fantastic presenter. Now complete these I am statements for all the strengths you selected. These statements are a key part of your identity. They're also known as affirmations. They're very motivational. There's a lot of evidence that says this kind of positive self-talk, as it's known, has a significant role to play in personal high performance. You should read them aloud if possible, regularly and preferably every day. Don't be embarrassed by them. They are who you are. Don't be very British about it if you're British. You do not become a rampant egomaniac by stating your strengths. You become a high performer. Positive psychology is the missing element in most coaching. A lot of coaching deals with tools and techniques only. This is necessary, of course, but it's not sufficient. True high performers use tools, techniques, and the inner game of positive psychology. You can do this too to realize more of your potential to become an even higher performer. Hi, I really hope you've enjoyed that video on identity, which is a critical element of positive psychology. That brings the free mini video program, Foundations of High Performance, to a close. I hope you've enjoyed it. We've dealt with high payoff activities, which is all about how to be really productive. We've dealt with managing distraction, which is all about managing the stuff that stops us being productive. And we've touched very, very slightly on positive psychology, how we can use the inner mind game to make us more successful. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, I'm putting a program together just now. It's going to be an online coaching program over 4 or 5 or 6 weeks. There will be a live element to it as well, and it's all about helping business owners, business leaders and people in senior teams to really increase their high performance, to be more effective. It's going to be very, very practical. It's going to be very hands-on. It's not theory. It's about what you can do today. Lots of tips, lots of tools, lots of techniques, and lots of the inner mind game of high performance. If you're interested in finding out a little bit more about that when it's available, fill your details in the box below, and I'll be in touch with you very soon. Once again, thanks for your interest in high performance. Thanks for your interest in me and my stuff. And if you're interested in hearing a little bit more about this, fill your details in below and I'll be getting back to you quite soon. Thank you.